Hey everyone, this is Jasmine. I'm a Reiki practitioner and also a counselor in training. My Instagram handle is Starting Alchemist, and if you would like to find out more about me or what I do, I'm gonna leave my details below so you can check them out. So today is just gonna be free flow as well. I think my body is struggling between wanting to work, wanting to churn things out, and also wanting to rest. My flu is getting better, but it doesn't seem to have fully recovered yet. So I've been busy since last week, seeing counseling clients especially, and even though I have been already holding space in my usual Reiki and Mental Alchemy sessions for the past year or so, I think it's shedding down, allowing different parts of them to show up during the session. It's really heartfelt to me, it's really fascinating to me and amazing to see, and there are like so much enlightenment for me watching people, in my day-to-day lives, being their strong self, being their positive self, putting on almost a different front while they function in day-to-day life, and coming into a therapy session, into a counseling session, finally there is a space for them to show up the self, the parts of them that are usually not accepted by society, not accepted by the people around them for so many different reasons. It can be as easy as like if I were to show my vulnerable side, I may just get taken advantage by other people, because some people, like, just for example, do market or sell their products based on what you fear the most. I mean, at the top of my mind, I can just think of selling, insurance packages for fearing that bad things may happen. So some people do perceive, like, if I were to show my vulnerable side, if I were to allow other people to understand my fear, what if they just take advantage of me? It can be as easy as like, I didn't want my parents to worry about me. I didn't want the people around me, my husband, my wife, to worry about me, and I don't feel like there is space to cry, to be vulnerable, to just allow myself to break down. Sometimes I do hear fears like, what if I break down and I can never pick up the pieces again? What if I feel like I allow myself to shatter? What if I don't feel like I can ever put myself together again? I mean, all these fears are indeed very real, and I have to say it is actually very sad for me whenever I see like we just have to hide and suppress certain part of us to feel like we can function in this world, and that some parts of us are just not acceptable, and sometimes it just feels like there's not enough kindness, not enough empathy, compassion, understanding in the world to allow ourselves to be whoever we want to be at any point of time. Sometimes it can be like anger, it can feel like we want to be bitchy, we just have these nasty critical thoughts, judgmental thoughts within our head, but we feel like, hey, no, it's gonna make me seem like I'm not a great person, I'm not a compassionate person, I'm not a nice person, and I may be judged by other people. And sometimes it's just funny how can this whole thing goes in a loop, and there's just not enough acceptance or space or compassion for us to be whoever we want or we need to be, for all parts of us to surface. And sometimes we couldn't even just allow all of these parts to arise, even when we are with our close ones, and which is why we have space holding, which is why we have therapy or counseling sessions like this, to allow different parts of us to arise, to be whoever they want to be the parent, be the guardian to these different parts of us. And sometimes different parts of us can be like an immature child who just want to throw a tantrum, who sometimes want to say something that's perceived as immature, as critical, as like nasty, or generally even speaking like just not good in the eyes of the society. But when we stop certain part of us to speak up, to be who they want to be at the moment, it's like watching your child or watching a child throwing a tantrum and say like, hey, you are being bad, you are being immature. It's not as if when you say that the child will like become mature, become a perfect person, but in fact what we do is that we actually send that child thinking that that part of us is not allowed, is being shamed, and we tend to distract ourselves, we tend to just suppress them thinking that it's bad, and the moment when we think that it's bad, we suppress them deep into our psyche, and it doesn't make them go away just like that. Unfortunately, they will be screaming, they will keep be kicking, it will just keep popping up in our head, in our body, and eventually it's gonna get very, very loud. What you are doing is sending them into a jail, into a prison that you create within you, and you just lock them there. It doesn't just make them disappear. And then what we do usually is we start to distract ourselves. We start to surround ourselves with people. We just keep talking. We just, watch shows, listen to music, and never a moment where we allow ourselves to be with ourselves, because that's the moment where these voices get very, very loud. And the only way that we can integrate them is to actually listen to them, no matter how bad or how shameful we think the thoughts or the feelings are. And that's what counseling or therapy sessions are for. We unlock the jail, we release them from the jail, and we allow them to come up, and we allow them to speak their truth, no matter how ugly or how shameful they are. By listening to them doesn't mean that we condone them, doesn't mean that we become them, doesn't mean that this is gonna be us, this is gonna take over us for the rest of our life. No, in fact, the moment you sit with someone, the moment you sit with this part of you, or you allow them to speak their truth, you allow them to rant, eventually it's gonna come to a place of peace. Eventually it's gonna stop. Be it whether it's the thoughts that you have been putting away, be it that it's the emotions you are not trying to face. Eventually it's gonna come to a stop, and that is the time you can introduce new thought forms, new feelings, new information to them, helping them to grow, helping them to walk out of that dark pit, that dark hole. And this is what I do. This is what I do for my clients. So yeah, and I have to say it's also really fascinating for me to meet whole sessions for so many different people with different experiences in their life, struggling with different phases, different chapters in their life. And for me, it's also reflecting like how in the past myself, or whether it is still people nowadays, because me as of now meeting people from different walks of life, from different background, different circumstances, it really opens up my mind, seeing that how I used to be, or even some people are still now, what they do is projecting onto other people, thinking that why couldn't they just walk out of it? Why are they being so difficult? And putting our own lens on them, thinking that it should be easy. It should be easy to walk out of whatever challenges they seem to be facing, and why are they not? And that's the thing about some people perceive counseling to be. They think that, hey, you know what? I have the solutions for you. I can just provide you the step-by-step for you to walk out of the challenges that you are facing right now, but that's absolutely not true. It is me guiding you, using all of the resources that you have in you to walk out whatever experiences, whatever challenges you think that you are facing right now. And that itself is gonna help you to recognize the resources that you already have within you. And it's not about relying on somebody else to help you for the rest of your life, but actually recognizing the resources and really honing them and knowing how to use them for these current challenges, or even the rest of the challenges that you may be encountering for the rest of your life. So yeah, I'm just letting my thoughts flow. I hope this makes sense to you. I think it's at this point where I have recognized all of this, be it whether is it for myself or for the people around me or the people that I'm supporting for a very long time already. It's just me probably putting them into words for the very first time. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna make a proper video in the future so that you could probably understand me better by then. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Jasmine. I'm a Reiki practitioner and also a counselor in training, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.